Hi, everyone. My name is Jiezhen, and I am a lover of soup and sunshine, and also the girl boss at The Hidden Good. And I'm here to share with you today why doing good doesn't have to look a certain way. Now, we live in a world where we often focus on everything that's going wrong. Even in community engagement, we tend to focus on the problems, the deficits, what we need to fix. But what if the world did need fixing? What if we could look at communities and social issues from a place of possibility and strength? What if we could focus on what was working and to build on it? Because when we build on what's working, we open ourselves to a multitude of possibilities instead of just that one way of doing things. And then there's the whole world of social impact, where we are bound by key performance indicators and KPIs and quantitative metrics. When we try to put a number to the value of humanity and empathy and kindness, we constrained ourselves to the arbitrary boundaries and benchmarks that we create. Numbers are important. They provide feedback. They tell us we're on the right track, tell us what's working and what's not. But when we get limited by them and we're constrained by them, that's when the good gets suffocated and great ideas are set aside. And in the world of doing good, we often focus on all the things that we cannot do sometimes. And we're so quick to judge. Judge what's good, what's bad, what's ugly. We talk each other down instead of lifting each other up. How many times have you heard, oh, that initiative will never succeed? When I started at The Hidden Good, people would ask me, oh, how are you going to do social media for social good? How can social good be created with social media? And I immediately started doubting myself, doubting if our idea for good was even good enough. So I stand before you here today to tell you that the good is what we make of it. And that if we really want to make a difference in the world, that we need to be open, we need to try, and we need to believe. We need to give ourselves a shot. Because doing good doesn't have to look a certain way, and I'm here to share why. Is it playing?
What's up, world? So we've been working to discover the hidden good in our society.
And I think we're discovering the answer. Why don't we just show you what we've been up to?
Yeah, let's do one of those flashback things.
I have a criminal record.
I had a criminal record.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter?
No. Take care, man.
Thank you so much.
Okay, no worries.
Oh, thank you
so much. I want to go home. Can you bring me home? 为什么？你可以带我回家吗？
你住哪里？
No, you're here. Really, you're here helping people. And God bless you. You're so nice.
It's Saturday, nothing to do, just help people.
You're so nice.
Umbrella, 150. Making someone's day, priceless.
Women in my office are useless.
Oh no. Why oh no?
This is not the right word to say.
I think this is quite cool. That now that we talk about it, I think I'll be a little bit more careful with regards to what I say.
To our beloved postman.
Sorry, because we really want to thank you for sending our love and sending our gifts to our loved ones.
Today we're doing a social experiment. It's called Talk for Your Coke. Basically, we want to promote face-to-face social interaction.
Think that what's the happiest moment in your life? Or what's your bedroom like? It's just any question to start to spur a topic. Yeah.
The last 2 minutes, I was holding the date in my hand, waiting for the clock to strike 7:17. So it was a great experience, and I mean, more importantly, it was having the whole community together.
Now, my goal is to see Singapore flourish, not just economically, but socially, emotionally, and holistically. We spent the last 51 and a half years building up a nation that can stand on its own against all the other major cities in the world. A community that is thriving, an economy that is growing, and yet we are still stuck in a survival mindset, one that values competition over collaboration, one that tells us that the value of success is defined by the schools we go to or the jobs that we create and the jobs that we have. But, so how do we move on from here? How do we flourish? Well, I don't know what the future holds for Singapore, but I do know that if we move from this mindset of survival into this mindset of possibility and growth, that we open ourselves up to a multitude of options and possibilities. If we're able to look at the good that's working within our communities, in our neighborhoods, in our families, we build stronger individuals, stronger families, stronger communities, and we build a stronger Singapore. And change needs to occur at multiple levels in order for Singapore and the world to flourish. It needs to happen at a macro level, when we look at national and global change, as well as on a micro level, on a personal level. At The Hidden Good, we use social media to uncover the good that's happening in the world, to get people talking and having conversations about social issues and driving people to action. We use social media to meet people where they are, to get community engagement to happen differently. At this macro level, we're able to engage communities on a much larger scale than we used to before. A group of doctors actually came to us and said, you know, we need to start talking about dementia differently. We can't keep talking about dementia in a way that, you know, just hands out brochures and does town halls. Well, we need to get people to look at how we can use resilient communities to look out for people around them. So we went out into the neighborhood and we spoke to caregivers and healthcare providers, and we were able to get people to tell us what they thought would address these issues of dementia. And we created a 3-part hidden camera social experiment series where we were able to look at how people would recognize signs of dementia, respond to symptoms of dementia, as well as to see how they would help a lost grandma get home, which you might have seen in the video earlier. And on a personal level, it's about practicing self-care and self-love. It's about practicing personal development. Because in order to do good for the world, we need to start seeing the good in ourselves as well. It's about being able to look for the good in our communities, even when it's challenging. And it's about being able to see the good in our neighborhoods, in our workplaces, in our families, in our schools, even in the fleeting interactions that we might have with strangers every single day. It's about saying hi to the bus driver in the morning and being able to thank the security guard in our buildings and know his name. And it's about being able to look for the good in the work that we do and to love the work that we do and to find passion and purpose in whatever it is that we do every single day. It's about being able to live authentically and fully so that the world is better for it. Because self-care and self-love is an act of kindness to the world in itself. And it's in doing good for ourselves that we are able to do good for others. So at this moment, I'd like you to turn to the person next to you and share about a piece of that good in your life that maybe you take for granted, that hidden good that maybe someone has done for you or you've done for someone, a piece of your life that you're grateful for. So if you could just turn to someone, preferably someone you don't know right now, and share that with them. I'll give you a minute to do that. Just one thing. And when you're done sharing, just look up. Good? I'm glad that you guys have a lot of good to share. I'll let you guys continue this conversation outside later. So we often build walls to keep people out. But what if we could build a wall to bring people in, into conversation, into connection? When you leave this room later on the break right after this, you'll see a stack of Post-its and markers. And I encourage you to take a Post-it, write down that piece of goodness that you just shared with the person next to you. Feel free to take more if you had a lot of good to share, as we can see. And to help me and help us build that wall of goodness. Sometimes it just takes that little action to make a difference and to remind us that there is so much good in the world, and I'm really excited to see what we share out there. Sometimes it's hard to see that the good is out there, especially in our darkest moments, when it feels like we have lost everything. To be able to stand there and say that I am thankful that I'm alive and breathing will show us that gratitude is not all fluff, because gratitude is the bedrock of resilience. And resilience is being able to stand there when it all falls away and to have what we have and to cherish the little things. And in doing so, we will turn challenges into opportunities and constraints into possibilities. We will be able to look for the good out there even when it's tough. And so I encourage you to continue to connect today, to look for the good that's happening, and to fall in love with the world that we're living in all over again. Because when we're able to look at the possibility instead of everything that's going wrong, to come from a place of strength instead of weakness. And it's not about looking at the fact that there are no problems in the world. The problems will be there, but acknowledging them, that they exist, and to do something about them, and to come from that place of strength instead of weakness, from beauty instead of brokenness. Maybe then we'll be able to see the good in this little miracle we live in called Singapore, and in our very own lives. And then the futures and the possibilities that exist will be limitless. Thank you.